It's time to go inside the mega events with some of the biggest names in the trillion-dollar world of sports. Let's go beyond the scoreboard with the sports professor, Rick Horrow.
I'm the sports professor, Rick Horrow. Welcome to Beyond the Scoreboard, Inside the Mega Events. It's a trillion-dollar sports business, to be sure, and about 50 to 60% of those dollars are wrapped up in the mega events, the championships, Super Bowls, All-Star Games, World Series, Wimbledon, tennis majors, golf majors, NASCAR championships, IndyCar championships, Ryder Cup. All of those too numerous to mention. I'm in my office to kick off the show, but I'm not here a lot. I'll be on the road on a weekly basis to bring you the inside tips from those major events. The balance sheets, who wins, who loses, the interviews, how you put on the events, and how you sustain them. This is all brought to you by Edelman Financial.
Money doesn't come with instructions. That's why we created Edelman Financial Services to help you with everything from college and retirement planning to managing your investments, helping you achieve retirement security. We're among the nation's top financial advisors. Come see how we can help you.
Sports Professor Rick Horrow, spotlight on golf, South Florida, women's golf. I'm here at Boca Rio Golf Club, where Gainbridge and the LPGA and the Boca Rio Club announced a 100-field, $2 million purse event for Pro Bowl weekend around the Super Bowl extravaganza in South Florida starting next year with a multi-year commitment. Dan Tauris, the CEO of Group 1001 in Gainbridge, here talking about the charitable orientation of this event. Paul Shapiro, the president of the club, talking about similar charities. Ricky Lasky and the LPGA. By the way, the LPGA has grown to over 30 tournaments in many countries and nearly $70 million of prize money, and charity very important. And Lexi Thompson and Morgan Pressel here to talk about how they're excited about all of this. And obviously Brooke Henderson and other golfers from around the world will make this a stop significantly, a significant Canadian following in South Florida, obviously, and especially around the Super Bowl. This will be important for charity. $10 billion of economic impact for the golf industry in South Florida, and certainly this continues to put it on the map, not just South Florida, but Palm Beach County as well. And very important, the synergy between the LPGA, the PGA, the senior, all of the major events represented here in some context to grow golf in South Florida. We know one thing, golf alive and well in South Florida. Look forward to some significant events around Super Bowl time 2020. I'm the sports professor Rick Horrow, a spotlight on mega events, the LPGA in South Florida, the Gainbridge tournament at Boca Rio.
Thank everybody for being here. It's an incredible turnout. And just to put this in perspective, in 1950, which was 70 years ago, amateur Polly Riley won the Tampa Open, which was the first LPGA event in Florida 70 years ago. First prize? Yeah, $3,500. We've come a long way. And the LPGA, as part of this partnership, is entering in his 70th season, with over 30 tournaments and $67 million in prize money, so they're clearly doing their part. South Florida golf is a $10 billion industry. The National Golf Foundation suggests that there are 1,100 public and private courses. When I started doing work down here in the leather helmet days many, many years ago, there were 3 isolated counties. I-95 and the Turnpike did not go from Miami to West Palm Beach, seriously. And now we are linked by sports and economic development, and we're finding with this and other events that the region will look to the north part of the county for golf and then head south, which is one of the side benefits of this event, will be very compelling for all of us. From Gainbridge's perspective, you'll hear from Dan, and it's all about consistency and assuring customers that steady is smart. Dan Towers will explain all of that. And Gainbridge is becoming, as part of this process, an unquestioned champion in women's sports. Boca Rio, who is as the jewel of South Florida, including, and really important in this story, members with unparalleled charitable orientation, which is one of the reasons, as you'll see, Dan and the group fell in love with Boca Rio and vice versa. So proud to announce the Gainbridge LPGA at Boca Rio 108 player field, $2 million purse, January 20 to 26th of next year. And by the way, in addition to everything else that this group will tell you about, it's a perfect way to start an annual sports calendar in the region and lead into the 2-week celebration of Super Bowl 54 in South Florida.
I think empowerment is a key theme with our organization, and so we see our corporate social responsibility as just a big part of who we are as an organization, our DNA. And so we look to sports and education as just great opportunities to give back, to make sure that we're integrated with the communities that we're working in, but really even all across the country, and just to make sure that we're able to help contribute to the issues that need help these days, to make sure that there's equal opportunity, that everyone has a chance to get in, that they're encouraged to do so, but also that whether it's at a young age or even later in life. I think it's just again about making sure that people have the opportunities to get involved.
So let me tell you a little bit about the LPGA. So thanks for teeing that for me, buddy. Although you stole some of my material.
Sorry.
That's all right. I'm used to it. So we are truly golf's global tour. We play 33 times on our schedule. We play in 13 different countries. Think about that. That's a lot of frequent flyer miles for us. A lot of different hotel rooms. We are broadcast in over 170 countries around the world. So come January 20 through 26 next year, all eyes will be on the Gainbridge LPGA of Boca Rio. So we're thrilled that we're going to be here. You guys are in for such a phenomenal treat with these athletes. 108 of the best female golfers in the world will embark on Boca Rio, and couldn't be more excited to come. Well, I have to tell you, I came here about a year ago on a site visit with our friends from Octagon and met with David Friedman and others that were on the board. And literally, as soon as we walked into the doors, we knew this is a place we wanted to bring the LPGA. I mean, you all see this, the clubhouse, it's unbelievably stunning. There's so much, I wish we had this much room every week in and week out. Player dining will be really good here, guys. And then the golf course itself, I mean, it is just stunning. It's going to be a great test for the best players in the world. And some tricky greens out there, so that'll be interesting. But from a business perspective, I think you guys know we bookend our season with Florida events. We opened up in Orlando with the Diamond Resorts Tournament of Champions, and we end our season in Naples at the CME Group Tour Championship. So we thought, gosh, we'd love to play in the southeast of Florida. We'd love to have a back-to-back with our first event and really make it a can't-miss for our players.
I think this tournament in general will be like a huge event for the LPGA Tour. I've never played here, but just walking into the clubhouse, like I said, it's unbelievable. It's beautiful here, and just of course looks like it's already in great shape for us. And I've heard from Morgan it's a great layout. It's pretty difficult, so. But I think just the community and everything will get so behind this event, and it'll be well run and get a great fan base to support us. And I think that's the most important thing for LPGA events, the venue, the fan base, but we wouldn't be able to do it without sponsors like Gainbridge, so we're very grateful.
Got it.
It's a wonderful golf course. I think ever since there were kind of rumors on the LPGA that the tour was going to come to Boca, everybody kept asking me, is this happening? Is this happening? Are we really coming? And once they get here, they're going to see this golf course. It's just fabulous. It's really puts a premium on your second shots, and as Ricky mentioned, it has some tricky greens, so you got to make sure you want to miss it in the right place. And I think most of the players will figure it out quickly if they miss it in the wrong spot. I don't know if my advice on that one.
What Boca Rio stands for, the membership, the way that they give back, I think made that just a perfect choice in terms of what we wanted. I think as we look at this whole event, really want to start with working with our partners at Octagon to create a premier golf event in South Florida. But what I hope we're known for at the end of the day is for the charitable impact, the philanthropic impact that we have in working with many of the folks of you that are in this room today and giving back through local charities, but in a way that's significant and meaningful and not just some kind of gratuitous something that every event needs to have, some charitable component, but that it's a significant piece. And I think that aligns with the membership at Boca Rio. We're excited about that, and I'm looking forward to the challenge, really maximizing that opportunity with a great event in a great location with a great club, and ultimately we'll be judged by the impact that we can create
in our own course. Lexi see the commitment of a world-class athlete that has to maybe drive 10 minutes to an event now and has some stability long-term with a place that she can call home as well. Ricky and the LPGA have been tireless from the first days in Indy to date to make this an event that's much bigger than anybody can ever imagine. Paul Shapiro, an old friend, not old, a friend, who has a perspective on philanthropy, on energy, and on a vision that is hard to match. And when you get to know Dan and you realize what he's done with corporate social responsibility, not just the Indy event, but sponsoring a really significant race driver named Zach Veach and Andretti Autosport and Fields and Futures in Oklahoma City, and a show on Fox called Power Sports, and a corporate social responsibility school program with a company called EverFi, and Fields with Cal Ripken. These are all done through his heart, and I think one of the real keys here is that you get to see Dan's charitable instincts and drive and vision as he spends more time in South Florida as an equestrian athlete and as a golfer. Both very important. Let me finally conclude by telling you, in 50 years in South Florida, it's hard to bring events that you know are going to work. I can name 4 professional sports franchises and a few golf tournaments, but I can also name 90 failures where you don't have political, civic, business, journalistic, and corporate support. This has all of that and more, beginning Super Bowl week in South Florida, where the eyes of South Florida will be on this in any event, and will then have the ability to take this to the next level. So incredibly excited about working with all of you to make this event the best it can be, and thank you all very much for being here. Thank you.